So, hi, I'm Bill, and I want to talk about something that is extremely important to a lot of people. Um, there's a lot of people out there who suffer from certain things that they can't explain, they can't figure it out, and it's something that can literally make people go crazy. And, when I was a kid, I had ADHD really bad, and I mean so bad that my teachers wouldn't even let me come to school unless I took my medication. Like, they would call my mom from work because I would refuse to take my medication, and my mom would have to force me to take it when I got to school. Okay, so I was an Adderall kid, and I got to an age where I decided to stop taking it. I was 13. I said, enough is enough. I'm not this person. This isn't who I am. I want to be myself. So mom agreed, and I stopped taking my medication. And I had a detox, because for those of you who don't know, Adderall is basically speed. So I was basically on drugs from the time I was 4 until I was 13. So like 9 to 10 years. So I lived that way for another 10 years, 11 years, and now I'm 24, and a lot of things have come to light since I've had a child. I've realized that I have something more wrong with me than just ADHD. I've learned to cope with my ADHD. I've learned to read. I've learned to focus on other things. I've learned to do things that had to keep my hands busy. That's one reason why I actually started smoking, was over ADHD. I know it's dumb, but hand to mouth really just kept me from being occupied all the time. So now I vape, but I have something more serious wrong with me in my head than just ADHD. And I feel like a lot of people out there have this condition and they just don't know it yet. It's called schizoaffective disorder. Now, what basically this condition means is you're not schizophrenic, but you're affected by schizophrenia. Does that make any sense? So they say that schizophrenia means you're nuts, and you're not. You may not be crazy, but you can act crazy. You don't mean to do the things that you do every day. You just cannot help it. And I went to a therapist because I started to get concerned because my marriage was going down the toilet, and my child was disrespecting me a lot. She's only 3 now, but it's like she knew she could push buttons, and my job was to prevent those buttons from being pushed so I could be a good parent. And I didn't know how to handle it. I honestly do not know how to handle being a parent with this condition. The only thing I know how to do is separate myself from my child when things get bad. So my child is in perfect health. She's fine, but my brain is not fine. And that's why I'm concerned about the rest of the world, because if me, someone who learns to self-cope with all of her problems, can't figure out how to do this without help, then how can someone else do it? A lot of parents and a lot of people who have this condition end up being abusive, and they don't need to be. I have the help of my mother, who helps me from day one, and I'm not concerned for my child's safety. I'm concerned for other people's children's safety, because let me explain what this condition does to you, okay? It takes your brain and it makes you see things, hear things, believe things that just aren't real. Maybe it's something that happened to you in the past and you feel like it's repeating itself. And, you feel like something's leading up to something, and you get delusional and you start freaking out and you don't know how to handle what's going on, so you lash out. See, my husband got the butt of almost everything that happened to me. And I'm not going to be married anymore here soon because I hit a stage where I just could not handle myself. I stopped cleaning, I stopped cooking, I stopped caring. And I stayed yelling at him and nagging him and treating him like crap. And because of that, I'm going to be alone because I can't physically figure out how to deal with this stuff. And now it's too late. I'm put back on medication strictly for this condition, but it's too late. He's fed up. He doesn't love me anymore in the same way that he used to. And so being the person that I am, the only person I have ever loved other than my child was my husband. And losing him in this way because of something I can't control, it hurts. I mean, I don't know how to handle it. And I don't want anyone else to go through it. And that's exactly why I need to figure out a way to help people who suffer from this. That's why I can't look directly into the camera for long periods of time. That's why I can't talk to people correctly. I ramble, I get annoying, I do these things, and no one wants that from a wife. They want their wife to be self-sufficient, self-caring, and I've been trying to do better, but like I said, it's too late. No matter what I do now, I could become perfect, and he still couldn't see himself with me anymore because I'm not the same person I used to be. And I just need people to understand that being who you are isn't always great. Now it's amazing to speak your mind, and it's amazing to do the things that you want to do in life. But when you're delusional and when you can't figure it out, and all you want to do is sit at home and cry because you can't distinguish the difference between reality and fantasy, it's hard. It's really, really hard. I mean, can you just imagine your significant other is going out for a night out? Or, you know what? Let's make this even worse, okay? They went to work, alright? They're supposed to get off at 5 p.m. They don't come home till 8. You start freaking out at 5:15, and they don't answer their phone. They don't do anything that they're supposed to have done. And as soon as they get home, you're yelling at them. Where the hell have you been? What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you going through? You know, and it turns out they had to work late because somebody else didn't come home. And all of a sudden, you feel like crap. But you're still yelling. You're still mad. You can't calm down. Because in your head, all you pictured was them with somebody else. Them doing something else. Them being a horrible person to you. But they never did that before. They had never betrayed you before. But you automatically assumed because you had been through it before, and the way your brain works, they were doing it. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's just people with this condition can't be with other people. I need to figure out a way to help people who suffer from this every single day. Because my child is going to grow up with a single mother, seeing her father when she can. And I have to sit here and hear her cry for her daddy every night. And things just aren't working out between us because of something that I can't control. I don't want that to happen to anyone else. And I want people to understand I'm not crazy. I just can't fix everything. And I want to fix everything, but I can't. You're not crazy. If you suffer from the same thing, you're not crazy. You just need help. You need help. You need coping skills. You need support. And I'm sorry I'm crying, but I've been trying to fix my marriage for weeks, almost 2 months now. And don't mind the liquor. I work at a liquor store. This is the best lighting I've got. But I just... I want people to know they're not alone. And you're not crazy. You just have to figure it out. And I'm here if anybody needs anything. It's just... you can't fix everyone. You can't fix everything. Sometimes you just have to figure out a way to focus on yourself. It's hard to do that. My name is Elizabeth Gilbert.